Lights, camera, and action.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast.
Remember those childhood movies you loved? We're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Let's get ready to join Anna and Jimmy as they go back and watch those movies you remember being oh so awesomely good. Horror movies that scared. Comedy movies that dared.
Damn!
And action movies so preposterously ludicrous that they defied the laws of common sense. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
And for our YouTube recording, we're going to move on to our second feature of our drive-in special. Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. For those listening, this is the second movie of our drive-in special that we are going to be previewing. And we are still in the 70s. And we are going to 75. James Caan, Rollerball. What do you remember about Rollerball? Oh, was this one that you
This
told me
is
you
one
didn't
I've
see?
never seen before in my life.
Right.
But of our choices, I had never seen any of them in my life. But I was like, Rollerball sounds fun. Let's watch that.
And to be honest, I do remember watching it. The last time I would have watched this movie, though, probably would have been early 90s.
That's
so it's been a while. And I remember the remake more. And I remember the remake being horrendous. Even in the 2002 when it came out, I remember it being horrendous, which is weird because it has
remake.
it has a great cast, but I remember it being really, really bad. Even back then, I thought it was bad.
I don't remember seeing the remake either.
Well, we might have to go and watch that too.
I mean,
not today, but
I wouldn't be mad about it.
This is a dystopian future movie. Yeah, it has LL Cool J, the guy from American Pie. Yeah.
Chris Klein. Yeah.
Chris Klein. Yeah.
Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah. Great cast.
Damn, this looks fun and ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely visit that one.
Okay, we'll get to that.
This one's dystopian future. This is glib. Right up there from the 70s from like Planet of the Apes, Soylent Green. They made a lot of these weird science fiction movies. This one, I think, be a little more easier to follow than a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember liking James Caan, and this is probably I watched this because I watched Godfather and a bunch of other James Caan movies. I'd like James Caan.
I think everybody likes James Caan. Isn't that like a rule?
Very old fashioned, no nonsense. Man's man. James Caan. But I just remember it was Rollerball or roller derby essentially with motorcycles flying around. Yeah. I don't remember a lot about it. So I'm excited.
I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I do love roller derby, but I usually watch obviously women's roller derby.
I remember in the early 90s, Fox tried to make it a big deal. And they introduced 8 teams or whatever. It didn't catch on, but they tried to make it they're trying to make it a national thing, but it didn't work.
Yeah. No, I had a friend who did it, and it was a lot of fun to watch. And there's also an episode.
It would be cool.
Yeah, it is really you watch it and you're like, God, first of all, my balance is shit. So I'd be falling on my face constantly. But also they will slam into each other and fling each other into either other people or into the walls. And you're just like, this is fun. It's like hockey without having to wear a sweater and a hat. It's so nice.
All right. Well, box office.
No box office.
It's hard to get anything from the 70s about box office, but it had a budget in between 5 and 6 million. And it just had a domestic total of about 30 million. So it made money.
Yeah.
It wasn't huge or anything, but I'm sure
That's a good take home. That's a
Yeah.
very good take home.
no one lost their shirt. That's it. That's all I could find.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah. All right, tell the tape. January 1st, 1975. That's a horrible release. It is a sci-fi action rated R and comes in at 2 hours and 8 minutes.
That is a lot of movie
Yeah, that's a lot of movie, especially
for a sci-fi rollerblading movie.
yeah.
Sorry, roller skating. Roller skating.
Synopsis. Oh, wait, let me double check. Did I get screwed on this one too? Let's see.
I don't know, did you?
No, these are okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry, this says synopsis. This is the taglines.
Okay.
So many. So many taglines. It's more than just a game. Although, if you don't like that one, we got plenty more to choose from. In the 21st century, wars aren't fought, they're played.
Oh, that one's not bad.
In the year 2018, they will produce a war every week during prime time and televise it to the rest of the world. They will call it.
No, that one's stupid. I don't like that one.
In the future, there will be no war. There will only be rollerball.
No. That's no.
Any sport that keeps changing its own rules while adding new ones is never just a sport.
This is dialogue. These are not taglines.
A world without crime, pollution, disease, or poverty. A society ruled by corporations instead of governments. An international pastime that has replaced war in every sense.
That's not a tagline either.
No player has ever been greater than the game itself until now.
No,
This movie will haunt your future because it's almost here.
that one's not bad.
40 years from today, all nationality has ceased to exist. There is no more pestilence, war, pollution, crime, or poverty. Instead, there's Rollerball, the game that plays everyone.
No.
See, if you were to put Rollerball, the game that plays everyone,
That would be a great tagline.
yeah, that would have been a really good one. The next world war will not be fought, it will be played.
That is a great tagline.
In the not too distant future, wars will no longer exist, but there will be Rollerball.
That's stupid.
That's it. It's like 11 of them.
That
I'm like,
was a
really?
journey. That was a journey.
Could have probably saved some money on your budget, not with the fucking marketing. Synopsis. The year is 2018 in a futuristic society. I love when I watch a movie
Yeah.
that's about the future and we're either just about there or way past it.
Yeah.
The year is 2018 in a futuristic society where corporations have replaced countries. A violent futuristic game known as Rollerball is the recreational sport of the world. With teams representing various areas, one player, Jonathan E., fights for his personal freedom and threatens the corporate control.
Ooh.
See, I think they're doing that now, but it's whatchamacallit, reality TV.
I mean, you're not that far off.
And here is the poster reveal. It's very 70s. Again, 70s.
Yeah.
It's drawn Rollerball, and it's James Caan cartoon or painted. Spikes coming out of his helmet. He's got his glove that has spikes. In the not too distant future, wars will no longer exist, but there will be Rollerball. And there's people with different colors on below.
They
It's
look like
okay.
they're in formal wear. Interesting.
And it's directed by Norman Jewison, who's made a lot of good movies.
Yeah. This will be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
All right. Well, 36 critic reviews give this 67%. 10,000 plus audience reviews, 62%. So there's pretty close.
Yeah.
Critic consensus. In Rollerball, social commentary collides with high-speed action, and the audience is the winner.
Snazzy.
All right. So let's start with positive. You may go.
Like many paranoid thrillers and dystopian science fiction stories of the 1970s, Rollerball is a metaphor for the decade's widespread mistrust of political and cultural systems. Brian Eggert, Deep Focus Review, original score 3.5 out of 4. mean,
It's meant to be satirical, but it's not that far off the mark. In many ways, it merely highlights the painful realities of a capitalistic, corporate-dominated society. Mike Massey, Gone with the Twins, original score, 8 out of 10.
The combination of Roman Empire-style decadence and violence mixed with a vision of a bizarre, loveless corporate future is evocative and unsettling. James Rocky, Netflix, original score, 4 out of 5.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Yeah.
like many paranoid... oh, wait a minute. I think we just did that.
Yeah.
Yes. The signs are still there, and if anything, there's more they're more pronounced than they were in 1975. Rollerball is the first and foremost a good movie. It has strong characters, a good plot, and lots of action. It's also social commentary. Rick Sanchez, IGN Movies, original score, 8 out of 10.
I would have hated being a stuntman on this movie. James O'Ailey, Sci-Fi Movie Page, original score, 3 out of 4. I love that we have like 4 or 5 reviews where it's just like a social commentary and it's dystopian and it's an incredible like study of this. And
More relevant now.
Yeah, more relevant now. We're inching towards it. It's all of a sudden, I would have hated being a stuntman on this movie. Thank you, James.
Rotten. I will start. James Caan on roller skates is trying to save the world. This needs a bit of explaining, which is only the beginning of the trouble with Rollerball. Jay Cox, Time Magazine, no original score.
Director Norman Jewison has far more luck with his staging of the rollerball matches. They're at once exciting and horrifying than scripter William Harrison has in condemning this future world with anything more than boilerplate lip service. Matt Brunson, Film Frenzy, original score, 2.5 out of 4. Matt, that feels a little...
Yeah, you made the list again, Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
Back on the list for you. If this is the future, take me back to Raquel Welch and Kansas City Bomber. Kansas City Bomber, for those listening, is a roller derby movie starring Raquel Welch. Ooh, Raquel Welch as a roller derby. Sweet. Ruth Batchelor, Los Angeles Free Press, no original score.
With its sluggish pacing, Rollerball gradually loses momentum between its slickly constructed game sequences. Philip Concannon, The Skinny, original score, 2 out of 5.
Seems to be going around in circles trying to say something, but is not sure what it wants to say as it keeps stumbling around every bend. Kind of like me reading this fucking review. Dennis Schwartz movie reviews, original score, C. All right, IMDb, 30,000 user ratings, comes at 6.5 out of 10. You may start.
Underrated masterpiece, 10 out of 10, Mudzibber.
Classic 1970s science fiction cinema, 9 out of 10, MPD Martin.
You can't watch it. You can only rewatch it. This is a film that demands repeat viewing. 8 out of 10, Nico Wabi 3.
Flawed, but commendably ambitious, 7 out of 10, Paul 200 1SW-1.
Rollerball matches are great. Scenes in between are not. 6 out of 10, David Allen, XYZ.
What is the point? Or is that the point? 5 out of 10. B-check 46485595.
Wow, is this bad? 4 out of 10, the sheeple will have their say.
An example of what happens when absolutely nothing about a film works at all. 3 out of 10, Evanston Dad.
Wow. Pretentious nonsense. 2 out of 10, Porterism movement. Wow, that took me 3 tries.
Interesting premise, boring 70s pacing. 1 out of 10, Key Montgomery, 98515. All right.
Interesting.
That was the box office. That was the synopsis, the taglines, and the reviews. Let us take a look at the trailer and then make a prediction for ourselves.
Jonathan E. That's the name. Houston players come and go, but the champion plays on. You know how the game serves us. It has a definite social purpose. Nations are bankrupt, gone, no poverty, no sickness. Man has accomplished what he'd always craved. Corporate society was an inevitable destiny, the good life, a centuries-old dream.
You'd better do as you're told, Jonathan. That's all I have to say.
Don't be here when I come back.
You won't be back, John April.
No player is greater than the game itself. It's not a game a man is supposed to grow strong in, Jonathan.
You still don't understand why I came here.
You're the only person I ever wanted. Wanted you on my side. That's all.
The books you've ordered are classified and have been transcribed and summarized.
Well, who summarizes them?
Zero, of course. He's the world's brain.
Does it answer you?
Oh, yes, it speaks.
I'd like some information about corporate decisions, how they're made and who makes them.
They're afraid of you, Jonathan. All the way to the top they are.
The game was created to demonstrate the futility of individual effort. Let the game do its work.
Game! This wasn't meant to be a game!
This is not a good sign.
Huh. This looks like I have to think a lot through this. I hate that. I hate when movies make me think.
I don't mind it when they make me think, but that felt super all over the place. Like that trailer felt all over the place. So I'm like, I really hope the movie makes a lot more sense. That's all I want.
So.
Yeah.
I hope so. The stunts look cool for 70s. No. Yeah.
I was all over the roller skating and the motorcycles and the crashing into things and throwing people. I'm like, I'm into that. Also, I wonder if James Caan can still roller skate. Is he even still alive? I think he died.
Did he?
He died 2 years ago.
Oh, did he really? Oh, my bad.
Yeah. That, like, when I said, I hope he could still roller skate, I was like, wait a second. I think he died.
Well, that's kind of rude.
I know, right? God. Mind you, I kind of love James Caan. I watched
his movies are great.
He had a TV show where he was.
Oh yeah, the Vegas one. Yeah,
Vegas. Yeah. Love that show. Anyways, yeah. I don't have the highest of hopes for this movie.
I have high hopes. I just don't think it. And it's 2 hours and 8 minutes.
That's a lot of movie.
That's a lot of movie, especially if it's a slow burn and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This should be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's hoping. Well, we are going to go watch Rollerball with James Caan. And when we come back, we are going to review it. Yay.
Woo.
Go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
on with the show.
Jonathan, Rollerball. Did you watch 1975's Rollerball?
I did.
And what is your initial thoughts?
I don't get it. Like, I get it, but I don't get it.
Yeah. This is typical 70s sci-fi. Yeah. Like, could the story be any more vague?
It was like, it took me 3/4 of the movie to fucking figure out what was happening, other than the rollerball I understood.
I didn't get I don't have the rules of the roller. I didn't get the rules of the rollerball. I'll go over that in just a second.
Yeah, there was the rollerball I got. I was like, I get that. Corporations running things. I get that. The rest of the story, I was like, the fuck? Forever. Took me forever to get to the point where it's like, oh, I get it now. But wow, did we take a really fucking long time to get here.
Yeah, and also like the music and imagery was all very 70s.
Yes.
Like, and I do like that. And I didn't hate this movie or anything, but they really could have
done this better.
And I know in the 70s they really like to do that, like 2001: A Space Odyssey, movies where they're like, haha, we're not going to tell you what's going on, we're going to fuck with your mind. And I don't want you to do that with me.
I don't mind if you do that with me, as long as it feels like I'm watching the same movie throughout. This felt like two different movies. The artsy kind of, here's all the like symmetry, and here's the symbolism.
There we go.
Here's the symbolism. Here's, the conversations that are saying one thing but mean another. I'm cool with that. But you cannot mix that high intellectual thought film with the delicate touch and Rollerball.
Yeah.
And especially Jonathan, where I'm like, he's not the smartest guy in the world.
No.
But he's not stupid either. And they tried to make him smarter than he is. I'm like, I needed more from him to help push the story along. Instead, I just got a guy who was like, what do you mean there's no books?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll go.
Also, this future is just depressing.
Yeah. I'll go one better. I don't like to, don't make me think, and then don't confuse me on top of that. I don't appreciate that.
There was a lot of confusion. And I think it would have been very different if in the rollerball like scenes, it wasn't treated as like a high art film. Like that's where I had kind of like, if it, by all means, do the very, corporate symbolism, the sets that speak to that, by all means. But this went too high art.
Yeah.
That it disconnects from the rollerball. And I need them to make me see that they're both intertwined, that they are the same story.
They were two extremes.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
And I understand maybe that was an artistic choice, but it just made the film disjointed, which really fucking pissed me off.
Well, here, I'll go over the rules here just before we start. Okay. So this is the actual official rules of Rollerball. Rollerball is played by two teams over 3 20-minute periods for an hour of a total game time. Each team has 12 players, 9 skaters, 3 bikers riding motorcycles. The skaters hang on to the motorbikes in order to gain or regain momentum. A steel ball is shot into a circular arena with 2 zones, outer and inner. The sidelines for both teams are in the arena's center. The first team to recover the ball before it strays into the central gutter goes on offense and attempts to score a point by placing the ball in the opposing team's goal on one side of the stadium. The defensive team protects their goal while attempting to steal the ball. The ball must be held in plain view at all times, otherwise it's declared dead, that is out of play, and a new ball is fired. Likewise, if the ball strays into the gutter before either team recovers it, the ball dies and a new one must be fired. Injured players are retrieved by medics and replaced by alternates. Fouls. The bikers can block opposing players, both skaters and other bikers, but cannot use force against them. Skaters can use force against each other, but not against bikers or against players who have already been downed, that if they're injured. Fouls are punishable by 3 minutes out of play. Moreover, if the defensive team commits a foul, the offensive team is automatically awarded a point. If the offensive team commits a foul, the defensive team is automatically awarded possession of the ball and goes on offense.
I got all of that from watching the movie.
I didn't get that in the first game.
No, it took a few games.
Yeah, you finally got it. Like,
yeah,
this is what they're doing. Yeah.
By the time they're playing Tokyo and they've changed the rules a few times.
Yeah.
Then you know what the original rules were. And because they say things like, oh, that just became a gutter ball, so another ball is about to shoot out. And you're like, oh, okay, so if it goes in the gutter, then the ball's out of play. They have to put another ball in play. Cool. And then when Jonathan is doing the that little tutorial thing, he mentions a few things and he's like, this is how you block a biker without making it look bad and whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, so you can't really fuck with the bikers, but you can kind of give a little nudge and you won't get called for that. Right. So it's stuff like that. Like I was picking it up. So by the time we got to the final game,
you had a sense of
I knew what the rules were.
Yeah.
And I knew how fucked up it was that they changed the rules the way they did. And I'm like, y'all are just trying to commit murder now.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just a murder game.
All right. So let's go over this movie. First, I do love 70s imagery and music, and this movie had a ton of it.
So much.
And this opens up with a very haunting organ and just the roller rink. Like nobody's around, hardly any light. Rollerball comes across the screen, and it's over a minute before we see anything else.
Yep.
And then we eventually see people walking in, setting up, getting ready. I liked the beginning. It was great. In 2018, Jonathan E. is the team captain and venture star of the Houston Rollerball team. Mr. Bartholomew, chairman of the Energy Corporation, one of a series of corporations that now govern society and team sponsor. And with some of the largest and wildest eyebrows I have ever seen. Jesus Christ, dude. This was not a thing in the 70s, apparently.
For men, there was no trimming their eyebrows.
No.
Like as you got older, it just got wild.
You just let them go.
Yeah.
Just let them go out in the wild. Offers Jonathan a lavish retirement package if Jonathan will announce his retirement during an upcoming television special detailing his career. Jonathan refuses and requests to see his former wife, Ella, who had been taken from him some years earlier by corporate executive who wanted her for himself. So first, we actually see the match between Houston and
Madrid.
That
was the first game.
Yeah. And we know Houston is last year's world champions. The game or sport is brutal.
Yep.
Like I said, I did not at the beginning understand what the fuck was going on in the game, but I liked the violence and the
it looked like a very exciting game.
Yeah. I know they had to pick up the ball and they had to get shot out of that cannon. They could pass it to someone and hold it up, and they had to hold it up and all that stuff. And I don't know if they had to go around the track a few times. The punching and the kicking was cool. But yeah, I think they could have explained it just a little bit. Like have some kids taking a tour of the arena and asking some questions or being told how it goes and then being like, yeah, we know, when do we get to see Jonathan or something?
I understand why they wanted the impact of the game, because you wanted to see just how violent it is.
Yes.
And how aggressive it is. And like that. And it's interesting to see like Houston versus Madrid. Then you're like, oh, it really is a global like community.
Yeah.
So it's not just like in the US or it's not just in Europe. It's like, oh, the cities are really playing everybody.
Yeah.
And I understand why they wanted to show us the game first. I just wish they had done a better job of explaining it soon after that.
Yeah.
Give me a conversation in the locker room to be like, that call wasn't great, or you can't do that. Your hit was too obvious. You can't hit the bikes. Something to start putting it into context, because it literally takes you 3/4 of the movie before you fucking actually more closer to like 90% of the movie before you fucking figure out what's going on. And it's exhausting.
Okay. So we jump here to, I'll read this and then we'll go back a bit. Jonathan goes to a library, fucking Wikipedia, where he finds all the books have been digitized and edited to suit the corporations and are now stored on supercomputers at large protected corporate locations. Jonathan's friend and former coach Cletus, now an energy executive, warns him that the executive committee is afraid of him, though he cannot find out why. Okay. I'll be honest, a lot of this movie is moody music and just shots of trees and buildings. But after the Madrid game, Mr. Bartholomew congratulates the entire team, informs them that a special celebration highlighting Jonathan is coming up, and it's the first time they've ever done this for just a player. Then he offers Moon Pie a dream pill, which seems to only be available to executives or people with privilege cards.
Privilege cards, yeah.
And he tells Moon Pie he'll dream of being an executive. And then he's like, do you know what executives dream of? They all dream about being big, muscular rollerballers. Then he tells Jonathan to come see him the next day. And can we talk about the name Moon Pie?
I was very confused, but I was accepting of it. I was like, maybe he eats a lot of moon pies. I don't know.
Like, I kept hearing Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory. Or the young Sheldon, because his grandma's in that show and calls him Moon Pie all the time.
Yes. Moon Pie is just adorable. And this guy is he has a Southern accent. So I was like, his Meemaw probably called him that. And that's why he's Moon Pie.
Yeah.
But it's funny because when they're doing this locker room talk with the executive as he's walking around and he's talking, and he keeps talking about how Jonathan is a champion. He's a champion. You're a champion. And I was like, this feels like an important and expository talk. Like he is illuminating us on something. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
No.
Because all it is euphemisms and entendres. And I'm like, sir, can you just use words? Please, just use words.
And wide shots and then quick close-ups.
The creepy looks and the, here's a pill. Yeah, Moon Pie, Jonathan's a champion. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I know this is something important, but I can't figure it out.
Oh, I wish someone gave me a dream pill so I could figure this fucking movie out.
Right? But I was like, okay, so he's annoyed about him being a champion. I don't understand why. Because don't you run this team or own this team? And I was like, don't you want him to be a champ? Like, I don't understand. Don't you want him to be a champion? It was all very confusing.
Then when he goes to see old Browse there, he's like, we want you to announce your retirement on the special. And John's like, I don't want to. And Eyebrows is like, no one is bigger than the game, bitch. And John's like, well, can I think about it? And it's important to note, actually, I don't know if Wikipedia does, that Jonathan, he has all the privileges of an executive.
Yes. He has the house. He has personal helicopters.
Yeah, he has his own helicopter to fly him around.
Yeah, he is definitely like a corporate darling. Like he has the privilege card so he can go shopping, apparently. Didn't realize you needed a privilege card for that. Learning something new. But anyways, he gets all of that. Like he has all of that. Excuse me. And so he's really high up there.
Yeah.
And he's revered.
Yeah. And like he doesn't seem to like his current girlfriend.
No.
So they trade her out for a new one.
But that's like, it's the weirdest thing because apparently it's funny because during this conversation that he's having, he's like, well, I don't know. And then the executive's like, no, you do what the corporation says. Like, you don't get to choose.
No.
We tell you you do. His girlfriend was sent by the corporation, has been apparently living with him for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then he's like, don't be here when I come back.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to Tokyo. I don't want you here. Or wherever he was going.
Wikipedia jumps right next here to Tokyo.
Oh, okay. But hold on. So the executive.
Oh, a lot happens between now and Tokyo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so much.
That we don't get.
And then Jonathan brings up, he goes, well, I have questions. Like, why did you take my wife?
Yeah.
I know you say she wanted to go, but why did you take her? And then you find out it's literally just because another executive wanted his wife. So they were like, okay, you go. And she's like, okay.
Yeah, we'll shuffle them around.
And they just like assign people. I'm like, this is so fucking weird. Like, it's odd, but I know it's pushing the whole. And then he has this weird obsession with his wife that he watches on multiple monitors in every room.
Oh, yeah.
His girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
a lot of TVs, which is kind of like the future now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But usually you don't have all the TVs on a wall and then 4 more TVs on another wall.
So Jonathan goes back to his ranch thinking about retiring. His girlfriend or corporate sex, I don't know. It's clear in this movie women have not advanced much past 1975.
What? How do you figure?
Well, because it's these women are being like, he doesn't want, like, oh, I want that guy's wife, so they move her. Oh, I don't like this girl, so he comes home and the brunette's gone and now there's a blonde there. And she's, because they're talking, and then she's like, my name's Daphne, by the way. And he's like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, he's like, oh, the corporation sent, great.
Yeah.
Welcome. Like, whatever.
And it's not very loud in this future. Like, it's 2018. There's not a lot of nagging going on. Men seem happier, less stressed.
That's fucking adorable.
Women seem, well, not happier.
They all are miserable in this movie, unless.
But when they start talking, they're like, "Here, have a dream pill."
They're all drugged. That's what this corporate future is. Everybody's on drugs. And it's true that they do use women as like basically chess pieces, and they're like, we're just going to move you around to our liking.
Yeah.
And it's really just a really great representation of how women were looked at in especially the mid 70s.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
This probably would have been written. Like women still were not. I think. Hold on, 1975, women had just gotten the right to like get a credit card. Like
we
just
talked about that. Yeah.
So they still weren't really seen as people unless they were attached to a man. So it makes sense that every woman in this movie had to be attached to a man in some way, shape, or form. And it's fucked up.
Because Daphne's obviously there to report on things that Jonathan do and nudge him into doing what the
corporate girlfriends are corporate spies.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, okay. So women start talking, forming an opinion. They just give them a pill. I don't think you call this movie dystopian. I think what would you call it? Utopia?
I think it is. Here's the thing. It is dystopian.
More utopian.
No, it's dystopian because there were corporate wars.
If you're a man, it's utopia.
Depending on who you are as a man.
Yeah.
And where
if you're an executive.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you're poor moon pie, you don't get to go shopping at the mall.
And that's one thing I wish they would have, because they don't talk about those people in the stands. Like, they have no privileges. So what the fuck is their life? Must be shit.
And it's so funny because all you do, like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, focus on Jonathan, but use him as a vessel to figure out what the rest of the world looks like. All I'm saying is your fucking ranch and your helicopter.
Yeah, and the roller.
And then you're trying to convince me that that's a prison, and I'm like, you're gonna have to give me more.
Yeah, because that prison doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, I was like,
he's got horses. He's got fucking.
Like eventually, you start getting it, and you're like, okay, so the corporation makes decisions for everybody.
Yeah,
like no matter where you are, and you just don't matter. Like your personal free will doesn't matter. You eventually get there, but when they start suggesting this stuff, you're like, you give me some examples. Like, show me something.
Yeah. And then we, like you mentioned, we see Jonathan doing some training of the new players where they kind of go over a bunch of the rules.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to the library to get some information about corporate wars and how executives work. And we find out that the books are edited by the corporations. And he's like, I want unedited books. And she's like, well, you have to go to a supercomputer facility for that.
Yeah. And it's so funny because they said like they're edited, transcribed, and summarized.
Yeah.
So you don't even read the book. You read the already transcribed and edited version that's been summarized.
Yeah. Like YouTube shorts.
Pretty much.
TikTok.
It's TikTok.
It's TikTok.
But written.
Yeah, written. Yeah. That was 1975. They didn't know TikTok was coming.
They didn't.
Then we find out they changed the rules to the game. This time there's no penalties, no substitutions.
That's later. Because there was a game where it was fewer penalties and limited replacements. And then they just eliminated everything.
And then and the coach is like, why don't you just retire? Like, and then Jonathan, I don't want to abandon the team. The coach is like, doesn't matter what you want. Yeah, it's what they want. You see him taking part of the editing process of his show.
Yeah.
All the highlights of him. Yeah, sorry, Wikipedia missed all of this. They bring a Japanese guy in to help them prepare for the Tokyo game.
Yeah.
Talking about that the Tokyo team is smaller, but they use karate and something else. I can't remember. And Moon Pie is like, this is little
Aikido.
Aikido.
It was
I think that's
karate
Korean.
and Aikido. And Moon Pie starts this weird culty chant.
Like the just.
Well, poor Robert Ito
Yeah.
is trying to fucking tell them how to stay alive. But no, Moon Pie's all like, Houston, Houston. And then it was like this weird, like, close up of them, like, chanting, and then super close ups of the strategy guy's face. And I was like, okay, is something going to happen? And then nothing happens. Just a weird culty chant.
Yeah. Then they go to Tokyo to get massaged by a Japanese lady. Insert
who falls asleep.
Yeah. Or insert you want happy ending here.
Can we not? Also,
okay.
So the masseuse falls asleep.
Oh yeah, they fall asleep on Moon Pie.
Yeah, both the masseuse
and then Jonathan just lays back and falls asleep.
Jonathan lays down and falls asleep on the masseuse. I'm like, I don't understand this scene.
I'm like, this is weird.
And he's just talking
weird
to two sleeping people.
Yeah,
because as you do. What the fuck?
It's weird, but I don't hate it. I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying my confusion, and maybe it's the music, the shot. I don't know, but it's weird. So we're back to Wikipedia. Rollerball soon degrades into senseless violence as the rules are changed to force Jonathan out. The semifinal match between Houston and Tokyo is played with no penalties and limited substitutions in the hope that Jonathan will be injured and forced out. The brutality of the match kills several players and leaves Jonathan's best friend and teammate Moon Pie in a coma, though Houston wins the game. Yeah, I was kind of upset that Moon Pie died. I mean,
yeah, I was a little upset about that. But I understand that's supposed to be the big, like, motivator for Jonathan to be like, fuck this, fuck these people, fuck it all.
Yeah.
They're not going to get me to retire now.
In a teleconference, the executive committee decides that the final match will be played with no penalties, no substitutions, and no time limit, in the hope that Jonathan will be killed during the game. Jonathan's popularity and longevity as a player threatened the underlying agenda of Rollerball to demonstrate the futility of individualism. Yeah, this was
that's when they told us what the whole point of the movie was.
Yes, this is where you finally
and I was like, oh,
revealed.
Is that what that was supposed to be?
Yeah, you could have told me that's an hour and 48 minutes earlier.
Correct. Correct. I was a little annoyed. I was like, oh, so we're fighting against individualism and uniqueness. Gotcha.
Jonathan makes his way to Geneva to access the world's repository of all human knowledge, a central computer known as Zero, only to find its memory corrupted. Mm-hmm. Afterwards, because didn't the librarian guy, he's like, oh, we just lost the 13th century.
Yeah, he's like, oh, well. I mean, what did we really lose? A few corrupt popes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that big of a deal. And I was like, you should be concerned. You're a fucking librarian.
Yeah.
Just losing knowledge left and right.
Afterwards, Jonathan receives a visit from his former wife, Ella, who has been sent to convince him to retire and to make it clear that the coming game will be to the death. Jonathan realizes his wife's visit was a setup by executives and erases a long cherished movie of the two of them, stating, I just wanted you on my side. Jonathan decides that despite the dangers, he will play in the championship game against New York. I was actually expecting kind of her to be like, she didn't want to go. But it was just like, oh, they just assigned me here. We have a son.
Yeah.
He has a lover. La-di-da.
It was like, it was so funny because they had such abstract conversations. It's like, so what's your life like? So what's this? How about this? Why won't you retire? Da 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 da. And then he like has an aha moment where he's like, you were sent to convince me to retire.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I mean, yeah.
And what about that party before the
fucking party?
Yeah.
The fuck?
And they were just like pressing their heads. I guess they were taking those pills and just
Yeah,
high
there
as
were a
shit.
lot of pills, and then they watched a montage of Jonathan's most
rollerball, yeah.
violent rollerball moments, and they're all cheering. Super fucking weird. Then they're all super like intoxicated, and someone grabs a gun. And my first thought was, that's the stupidest. Who found a gun when they're that fucked up? Then they all go out into the wilderness. It's not really a wilderness, it's just
No.
land, the grass, the little
Set it
outdoor
all on
space.
fire.
Yeah. And they fucking start shooting this gun, which is not just a regular gun. It's not just bullets. It's like fucking flares, but
Yeah.
in setting like pine trees on fire, and they're all laughing and laughing and laughing. And between setting these trees on fire, the executive and fucking Jonathan are having a fucking conversation about him retiring. And he goes, you know, you embarrassed me because you were supposed to retire on this special. And he was like, well, I didn't want to retire on the special, and I don't want to retire, but you should retire. I'm telling you to retire. So just retire. And he's like, no, I don't think so. And it's like, you better retire because this is going to get worse. And he was like, nah, I'm not really feeling it. And in between all of this, it's like, pow, up in flames, pow, up in flames. And random people in like formal 70s gowns and tuxedos laughing.
Just lunatics.
And all I could think, what the fuck are the trees supposed to represent? Because this is a lot of fucking film to waste on something that doesn't have a purpose.
Yeah, see?
I can't find the fucking purpose.
This movie's making me think, you fucker. Make me
I'm
think
fine
watching a movie.
No. Make me think. I'm cool, but be clear. This
Yeah, at least give me a chance to be able to figure it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This, I'm like, the fuck does this mean? Obviously, it means something, but there are no cues. I have no idea what's happening. I'm like, why do we care about these trees? Why are they firing a gun? Why are they all just laughing? There's no actual real dialogue. So I'm like, so they're all just laughing and, you know, having a great time shooting random trees in the backyard while they're all high out of their minds. And you're intercutting that.
And...
Yeah. Like just and intercutting that with the conversation between Jonathan and the executive. And I'm sitting there going, are they related? Like, is that why you're intercutting? Is that supposed to represent something that's in the conversation? And that's why you've chosen to do it? Because it's not fucking clear.
No,
and
not at all.
That's what annoyed me about this movie. Either you're high art or you're not.
The final match devolves into a brutal gladiator. Oh, for fuck off.
Gladiatoral?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
A fight. Jonathan is soon the only player left on the track for Houston, while a skater and biker remain from New York. And yeah, it was a brutal. It's like everyone knew.
Yeah.
They were either going to die or be maimed in this game. And
well, there was no other choice.
No. And the rollerball shit was really, I did enjoy it. Like I did like it. Yeah.
That was probably one of the most effective. Like everybody's just dying and they are fighting to the death. And the entire crowd is cheering.
Yeah.
And cheering. And as more and more people die, they're just cheering and loving it. And until it's down to the final 3.
Yeah.
And you see Jonathan just broke down. He's like, and they were like, don't go back out there. Because he comes off at one point. They're like, don't go back out there. And he's like, no, I'm going to go back out there. So he goes out and he's like the only one. And he's broken. His shirt's all askew. He's sweating. And he's right in front of the executive from the energy company. He's just sitting there looking at him.
Yeah.
Waiting. And then they take out one. And then he takes out the other player brutally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he fucking scores a point.
And while staring at the executive.
Yeah.
Yeah. After a violent struggle in front of Mr. Bartholomew's box, Jonathan kills a skater and takes the ball. The biker charges and Jonathan knocks him off the bike and pins the biker down. He raises the ball over his head, then pauses, refusing to kill his fallen opponent. Jonathan gets to his feet and makes his way to the goal, slamming the ball home and scoring the game's only point. Jonathan then takes a victory lap as the crowd chants his name, first softly, then slowly rising to a roar while Mr. Bartholomew hastily exits the stands. And then you don't even get. That's it. That's our
That's
movie.
it. When we hit that point, I was like, "You're not even going to give me an epilogue. You're not going to give me him on a horse."
And the world changed for the better. Not
Yeah,
even that.
nothing. Like, give me a scene of riots in the streets. Something. Nah, nothing. Just him.
And
roller skating.
that is our movie. What is your score for Rollerball 1975?
Okay, look. The rollerball parts are exceptionally entertaining. James Caan, I want to say, look, he's a good actor. We all know he's a great actor. He's got charisma. He's got great screen presence. He should not have been fucking cast in this movie. And while I appreciate him as an actor, this was not the actor we wanted for this particular role. Because I think his performance added to the confusion.
Yeah.
And that really fucked up a lot. I think this movie was a bit of a hot mess. So if you're into watching a very confusing 1970s hot mess that doesn't know what kind of fucking movie it is and doesn't know that you don't have to put, symbolism into every fucking scene for shits and giggles, then by all means, feel free to watch this. Do not pay money for this. I'm giving it a skip it because I will never spend 2 hours and then at the end of that, still have very little satisfaction or idea of what happened. I love the rollerball though. I want to watch the remake to see if it's more rollerball.
Oh, we have to. We have Christmas coming and Halloween coming, but I mean, January, February, we have to go and watch we have to put Rollerball, the remake, on one of those days.
Can we do it sooner? Because now I'm super fucking can we do a mini?
Oh, maybe we should do it and have that as our backup or something.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't mind watching this.
I need to watch the remake to see if they fixed the issues because here's this movie.
I think they made it worse.
I get what they were trying to do with this movie. They were trying to make a commentary on society and anti-capitalism and, how uniformity is not the answer. Conformity is not I'm like, I get it. It took me damn near the entire movie, but I got there with them. Unfortunately, you spend most of the movie going, the fuck? So when you finally get there, you're completely dissatisfied. And then it feels like there's no conclusion to the movie. Because all they do is, hey, guess what, guys? He lived. We don't know if anything changes. We don't know if he inspired change. We don't know if his life changed. We don't know if his wife comes back to him and says, I've seen the light. We don't know anything. We know he just killed a bunch of people and he was very sweaty and bleeding. That's what we know. So skip it.
You say
unless you're just so curious, you have to watch it. In that case, stream it. It's streaming on Prime right now, included. So if you have Prime, you can watch this for free, which I also endorse. Do not pay money for it. Not even $1 at a garage sale. Don't do it. What are your thoughts?
My score. This movie is a warning about the future and what's coming from corporations and getting away from individualism. We didn't listen to it, probably because we didn't understand it as we watched it. No, I say, okay, I didn't hate the movie. I did not love this movie. I even stretched to say I liked it. I would say if you're a fan of 70s, the music, the shots, the symbolism, it's great to look at it like that. But it is a messy story. It doesn't tell a well story or a complete story until the very end. You get some semblance of what was actually going on. I did love the rollerball stuff. I do love James Caan. I say stream it. I would not pay money for this. It is, I guess, a classic. A lot of people do like it. I think they're lying. I think they watched this and were like, oh, yeah, I like this too. Like I used to do that with 2001: A Space Odyssey. I didn't have a fucking clue what that movie was about. Yeah, I loved it. It was awesome. No, I say stream it just to see whatever, like a classic 70s movie. You'll like certain aspects of this movie, but it's not a well paced. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
And it doesn't weave together very well at all.
Yeah.
I would say, not that anyone in Hollywood, this would be a great TV show.
Oh, it could be an amazing TV show.
Give us tons of the Rollerball.
Yeah, tons of the
And then-
conversations.
And
about
tell us what's
society.
going on in society and show people that are in the high and then in the lows and then the rollerballs, and that it would be a great TV show. Not written like this. Like
No,
we'd
not
like it to
written.
make sense.
Yes, that would be great if it could. Yeah, it feels like there are two movies fighting for dominance in this movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like
And-
if they had picked one and run with that theme, like it was weird to see James Caan playing like the rough, violent rollerball player
Yes.
who then gets really quiet and introspective.
Sylvester
and is-
Stallone would have been great. 'Cause he would have been like,
Actually,
what's
yeah.
going on? Like
Yeah,
I would buy that. Like, I
But
get that.
there needed to be a rewrite because it was weird because, Jonathan keeps saying, there's something going on. There's something going on. And I'm like, but you never fucking figured it out.
No.
Just that they wanted you to retire, but you never figured anything out. And I was like, I don't know if that's a commentary, because if it is, then you needed someone to stand there and go, you're never going to know why they want you to retire.
Yeah.
I think Cletus says it where he's like, nobody can figure it out.
Yes. Yeah. He doesn't know why.
He's like, I don't know why, nobody can figure out why, but if he just said, you're never going to understand this because the higher ups, like the top echelon, they make the decisions for everyone and we just all have to follow.
Yeah.
A line like that would have settled my soul a little bit more for this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Because we're left at the end going, oh, what the fuck?
What's
Nothing?
next?
No payoff? He just scored a
Nothing,
goal.
yeah.
That's all you're giving me.
He didn't kill the very last guy.
Yeah.
Yay him. He was cool killing the second last guy.
Yeah. That was okay.
But the very last guy, he was like, nah, first I'm going to score a goal. Whatever. The last guy probably died anyways, bleeding out.
Stream it and skip it. We both agree. Do not pay money. And I'm not telling you to stream this because you're going to enjoy it. It's an
experience.
It's an experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't mind if it wasn't 2 hours long, I probably would have said stream it.
Yeah.
I would have been like, yeah, sure. If it was an hour and a half, I'd be like, by all means, watch it, experience it. It'll confuse you, but watch it, experience it. But it's 2 fucking hours long.
Yeah.
I'm not telling anybody to take 2 hours of their life.
It was a long time to be confused.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, the rollerball scenes were amazing. Violent, 100%.
Yeah. But they were cool.
But they were cool and they were shot really well.
Yeah. All right. So that is our drive-in Smoking the Bandit, which I think we have a buy it at discount and
I have a stream it.
And Rollerball, we have a stream it and a skip it.
Yeah. Don't take 2 hours of your life for this.
I say watch it and maybe play that drinking game.
Play the drinking game.
Yeah.
And then tap out when you hit your limit and then just stay drunk for the rest of it.
Might be better.
Right? That's
all right.
I was sober.
So next week we are still doing our August drive-in. We are watching DC Cab and Death Wish 2. We're going to the 80s. Yay.
Woo.
All right. Well, thanks for coming back to the 70s with us and watching 2 movies that weren't as well. For one, wasn't as good, and one that wasn't as good for both. But until the next time we remember liking a movie.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.